The giant crystal chamber floated in the dark space around a dead star. Light from thousands of tiny stars bounced off its clear walls. Inside, beings from every corner of the galaxy sat in rows that floated like clouds. They were tall, short, covered in scales, feathers, crystal shells, or glowing gas. All of them watched the same spot in the center. A single human stood there. Her name was Alara Voss. She was 29 years old. She came from New Mumbai, on Earth. She had short black hair, brown skin, and tired eyes that did not look away. She wore a plain gray jumpsuit. No shiny armor, no fancy cape, no team of helpers. Just her. Around her, the air felt heavy with whispers in many languages. Most of the aliens thought the same thing. This was the end of humanity. They had given humans 11 years as provisional members of the Galactic Concord. Humans were clever. They built fast ships. They learned new science quickly. But they were also loud, stubborn, and violent in ways no one else understood. Many species wanted them gone. The Crucible trial was the perfect excuse. The Arbiter stepped forward. His name was Kale Vor. He was very tall, almost 4 meters. He had 6 long arms that moved like slow water. His body was covered in smooth black plates that caught the light. His voice came from everywhere at once, calm and cold. "This is the Crucible trial," he said. 5 stages, no mercy, no second chances. The candidate will face tests of body, mind, isolation, others, and choice. Most species fail in the first hour. None have passed in 300 years. If this human fails, Earth and all its colonies will be sealed away forever. No ships may leave, no ships may enter. Your kind will fade in silence. The chamber became very quiet. Ilara stood straight. She did not shake. She did not look at the floor. She looked right at Kale Vor's many shining eyes. The Arbiter continued. "Do you understand what is at stake, Alara Voss?" "I do," she answered. Her voice was clear, not loud, not soft, just normal. "Do you accept the trial?" "Yes." A low sound moved through the watchers. Some laughed quietly. Some clicked their mouthparts. Some glowed brighter with surprise. A human saying yes so fast, without begging, without long speeches about peace and friendship. It felt wrong to them. Kale Vor tilted his head. "Many before you cried. Some prayed to gods we have never heard of. Some offered their children as hostages. You say only one word. Why?" Alara gave a small smile. It was not happy. It was tired, like someone who has heard the same question too many times. "Because we've done this before," she said. The Arbiter waited. The whole chamber waited. She went on. "Not this exact trial, not with crystal rooms and dead stars, but the rest? Yes. We've faced things that wanted to kill every one of us. Ice that covered the whole world. Diseases that ate lungs. Bombs that turned cities to ash. Beasts with teeth longer than my arm. We lost most of our people, again and again. And every time we got back up. We built houses on the graves. We sang songs about the dead. We kept going. This," she opened her hands toward the chamber, "is just a bigger version of the same old story." A tall insect-like delegate from the Zethar hive made a sharp buzzing sound. "Arrogance," it said through its translator. "Your kind mistakes luck for strength." "Maybe," Alara said, "but luck only lasts so long. After a while, it stops being luck. It becomes habit." Another voice, a soft liquid voice from a pool being in the 3rd row, spoke up. "Habit will not save you from the Crucible. The first stage breaks bone and lung in minutes." "Then I better not waste time." The Arbiter raised one long arm. Silence fell again. "The trial begins now," he said. "Stage 1, the Crucible of Flesh." The floor under Alara opened like a flower. She dropped. She fell for only 2 seconds. Then she hit the ground hard. The gravity was 5 times Earth normal. Her knees bent. Her spine pressed down. She felt every organ shift inside her body. The air smelled like sulfur and burnt metal. It burned her throat, even through the thin emergency mask that appeared on her face the moment she landed. The chamber around her was gone. Now she stood, crouched, on a cracked red plain under a sky the color of old blood. Wind screamed past her. Sand hit her skin like needles. The temperature dropped fast. Frost formed on her jumpsuit in seconds. Above her, in the real chamber, giant screens showed everything. Every delegate watched. Some leaned forward. Some turned away. She breathed slow and shallow. She felt her heart race. She felt her legs shake. She forced herself to stand. Step 1, she thought. Move. If you stop, you die. She started walking. The ground shook. A crack opened 10 meters ahead. Hot gas shot up like a geyser. She jumped sideways, landed badly. Her ankle twisted. Pain shot up her leg. She bit her lip until she tasted blood. Then she kept walking. Temperature dropped again. -100 now. Her fingers went numb. The suit was failing already. Small tears appeared in the fabric. Air hissed out. She stopped, thought for 3 seconds. Then she tore a long strip from the bottom of her jumpsuit. She wrapped it around her hands. She pulled the torn part over her head like a hood. It was not much, but it was something. She kept moving. The screens showed her heart rate. 180 beats per minute. Oxygen low. Body temperature falling. Most candidates quit here. They begged the drones to pull them out. Ilara did not beg. She found a shallow ditch. She lay down in it, curled tight, used her own body heat to slow the freezing. She counted her breaths. In for 4, hold for 4, out for 6. Old trick from endurance runs back on Earth. Hours passed. The wind never stopped. The cold never stopped. But she stayed alive. In the crystal chamber, delegates began to talk louder. She is still moving. Impossible. The drones say 4 hours. No one lasts 4 hours. Vor watched without blinking. Ilara finally stood again. Her legs felt like wood. Her lungs hurt. She coughed blood onto the inside of her mask. She wiped it away with her sleeve. She looked up at the invisible watchers she knew were there. You want to see if we break, she said, voice rough. We don't break easy. She started walking again. The red plain ended at a wall of black rock. A narrow path went up. She climbed. Hands bled. Knees bled. She slipped twice. Caught herself. Kept going. At the top she found a small flat place. A metal box sat there. Inside was a single bottle of water, and a note in standard Galactic. Drink. Rest. The next stage waits. Ilara opened the bottle. Drank half, saved the rest. She sat down, back against the rock. She closed her eyes for 10 seconds. Not sleep, just rest. Then she stood. I'm ready, she said. The world around her faded. The gravity eased. The air became clean. She was back in the crystal chamber. She stood in the center again, bleeding, shaking, alive. The delegates were silent. Vor spoke. Stage 1 complete. The candidate lives. A sound rose from the watchers. Not cheers, not boos, something in between. Shock, fear, respect, confusion. Ilara looked at them all. She wiped blood from her lip. Next, she said. Ilara stood in the center of the crystal chamber again. Blood still dried on her lip. Her jumpsuit was torn in places. Her hands shook a little, but she kept them at her sides. The delegates watched her like she was something strange that should not exist. Some looked angry. Some looked scared. Most looked confused. Vor's voice filled the room once more. Stage 2 begins. The Crucible of Mind. The floor did not open this time. Instead, the air around Alara shimmered. A soft silver light wrapped her body. Her eyes closed on their own. She felt her mind pull away from her body, like thread being unwound. Then, everything went quiet. She opened her eyes inside her own memory. She stood in a small hospital room on Earth. The lights were dim. Machines beeped, slow and sad. Her mother lay in the bed, skin thin like paper, eyes closed forever. Alara remembered the smell. Clean sheets, medicine, death. She had been 16 then. She had held her mother's hand until it went cold. The memory did not stay still. It moved. The room grew bigger. The walls turned into fire. Her mother sat up. Her eyes opened, black and empty. "Why didn't you save me?" the voice asked. It was not her mother's voice. It was deeper. It hurt to hear. Alara took a step back. "I was a child. I tried." "You failed." The floor cracked. Hands reached up. Hands of people she had lost. Friends from school. Colleagues from the lab. A boyfriend who died in a shuttle crash. They all spoke at once. "You failed us. You always fail." She felt tears on her face. Real tears. The simulation made everything feel real. Pain in the chest, fear in the stomach, guilt like heavy stones. But Alara did not run. She stood there. She looked at each face. "I failed sometimes," she said. "I know it. I carry it every day. But I did not stop. I kept working. I kept helping. I kept living." The room spun. Fire climbed the walls. The air burned her lungs. Then new memories came. Faster. Harder. She saw herself at 12, running from a street gang in New Mumbai during the water riots. She had hidden in a sewer for 3 days. Rats bit her legs. She ate garbage to stay alive. She saw herself at 21, failing her first big exam because she worked 2 jobs to send money home. She saw herself at 25, watching news of the first alien contact. Humans cheering. Then the riots started anyway, because some people were afraid. Every mistake, every shame, every time she had been weak, selfish, angry, scared, they all came at her like knives. The simulation pushed deeper. It showed her things she never did, but could have. What if she had stolen medicine for her mother? What if she had hurt someone to survive? What if she had given up on humanity when the aliens first called them dangerous? "You are violent. You destroy. You deserve to end." Alara closed her eyes for a second. Then she opened them again. "No," she said. The voices laughed. The room shook. She spoke louder. "Yes, we hurt each other. Yes, we make mistakes. Big ones. We kill. We lie. We hate. But we also fix things. We say sorry. We build again. We love even when it hurts. We laugh at stupid jokes after crying all night. That is not broken. That is human." She walked forward through the fire. It did not burn her now. She reached out and touched the face of her dead mother. The black eyes flickered. For a moment they were brown again. Warm. "I miss you," Alara whispered. "But I kept going because you told me to. You said the world does not stop for tears, so I did not stop." The face softened. The other faces quieted. The fire died down. More memories came, but slower now. Good ones mixed with bad. Her first kiss under monsoon rain. The day she got her degree. The night she stayed up with friends talking about stars until sunrise. Holding a stranger's child during an evacuation drill. She named them all, out loud. This one hurt. This one was beautiful. This one taught me. This one almost killed me. This one saved me. She kept walking. The room became a long hallway, doors on both sides. Behind each door waited another piece of her life, another fear, another regret. She opened them one by one. She looked inside. She spoke to the shadows. "I see you," she told them. "I accept you, but you do not own me. Hours passed in the real world. In the crystal chamber, the screens showed her vital signs. Heart rate high but steady, brainwaves wild, then calmer, then wild again. No candidate had lasted more than 2 hours in stage 2. Most went mad. Some never spoke again. Alara kept going for 9 hours. She talked to every ghost. She cried. She shouted. She laughed once when she remembered the time she tried to cook for her father and set the kitchen on fire. She laughed until she cried again. At the end, the hallway stopped. A single door stood in front of her. Plain wood, no lock. She put her hand on it. Behind the door was darkness. A voice spoke from inside. Not angry, not sad, just tired. If you open this, you accept everything. All of it. The good, the bad, the ugly. You accept that humanity is messy, dangerous, beautiful, worthless, priceless, all at once, and you still choose to carry it. Alara took a breath. I already chose that a long time ago, she said. She opened the door. Light poured out, soft, warm, not blinding. The darkness pulled back. The voices went quiet. Alara stepped through. She opened her eyes in the crystal chamber. Her body felt heavy. Her face was wet with tears. Her jumpsuit was soaked with sweat. She swayed but did not fall. The delegates stared. No one spoke. HFY's arms moved slowly. Stage 2 complete. The candidate endures. A low sound moved through the room. Not shock this time. Something deeper. Awe. Maybe fear. Alara wiped her face with her sleeve. She looked up at the arbiter. I did not ignore the pain, she said. I looked at it. I named it. That is how we survive it. HFY did not answer right away. When he spoke, his voice was quieter than before. Stage 3 awaits. The crucible of isolation. The silver light came again. This time it pulled her into nothing. No sight, no sound, no touch, no smell, no taste, only her thoughts. She floated in black for what felt like forever. In real time, it was 1 month. Subjective time. No clocks, no days, no nights, just endless nothing. Most candidates broke in days. They screamed inside their minds until their brains shut down. Some begged. Some prayed. Some tried to end it themselves. Alara did not scream. At first she counted seconds, then minutes, then she lost count. She started talking to herself. Hello, brain, she said inside her head. Still here? No answer. Of course not. She tried singing. Old songs her grandmother taught her. Lullabies from Punjab. Work songs from the shipyards. She sang until her mind grew hoarse, even though no sound came out. She told jokes, bad ones. Why did the astronaut break up with his girlfriend? Because he needed space. She laughed. The laugh echoed only in her skull. She rebuilt things in her head. A bicycle, a small fusion reactor, the layout of her apartment back on Earth. She drew every wire, every pipe, every screw. She argued with people who were not there. Her old professor, her dead mother, a rude alien delegate she had met once. You think we are animals, she told the imaginary delegate. Maybe we are, but animals survive. Animals adapt. Animals care for their young. What have you done lately? She forgave herself for things, out loud in the dark. I was wrong about that. I hurt her. I should have said sorry sooner. I forgive myself, not because it erases it, because I need to keep moving. She cried sometimes, silent tears in endless black. She slept, or thought she did. Dreams came, strange ones. She flew over Earth. She swam in oceans that no longer existed. She held hands with people long gone. Time stretched, folded, broke. She started a game. She made up stories, long ones, about a girl who left Earth and met every kind of alien. Some kind, some cruel. She always found a way. She prayed once, not to any god she knew, just to whatever listened. Please let me see the sun again. She did not beg. She asked. She remembered her mother's last words. Keep your head up, Beta. The world is big. But you are bigger. Elara smiled in the dark. I'm still here, Ma. One day, or what felt like a day, the nothing ended. Light returned. Slow. Gentle. She felt her body again. Cold. Stiff. Weak. She opened her eyes. She stood in the crystal chamber. Her hair was longer. Her face thinner. Her eyes red but clear. The delegates were silent. Many had left and come back. They had watched the whole time. Vor spoke. Stage 3 complete. The candidate returns. Elara took a shaky step forward. Her voice was rough, from not speaking real words for so long. She looked at them all. That was boring, she said. A few aliens made small sounds. Surprise, almost laughter. She asked for water. A drone brought it. She drank slow. Then she looked at Vor. Elara stood in the center once more. Her body felt thin after the long month in nothing. Her eyes were red, but they still looked straight ahead. The crystal chamber was quiet. Many delegates had stayed. Some had left and returned. They wanted to see what would happen next. No one had reached stage 4 in living memory. Vor's black plates shifted slightly. His voice came slow and clear. Stage 4, the crucible of others. You will be placed in a dying place. Lives hang in the balance. Save as many as you can. Know this, if you fail to save even one, your species still faces judgment. The trial does not care for excuses. The silver light returned. It pulled Elara away. She landed hard on cold metal. The air smelled of smoke and burning wires. Alarms screamed in the distance. Red lights flashed everywhere. She was inside a huge orbital habitat. The floor tilted. Gravity was failing. Somewhere deep in the structure, a reactor was breaking apart. The whole place would tear open in less than 90 minutes. Elara looked around. Bodies lay scattered. Some moved, some did not. She counted quickly. 8 living beings. All different species, all hurt. First, a crystal being from the Lyrath Collective. Its body was made of clear blue shards. One arm had cracked. Liquid light leaked out slowly. It lay curled in pain. If the leak did not stop, it would harden and die. Next, a tall reptilian warrior from the Koran Dominion. Scales dark green, one leg pinned under a heavy beam. Blood pooled under it. The warrior growled low, teeth bared, but it could not move. Then a small swarm larva cluster from the Vex hive mind. Hundreds of tiny white grubs in a jelly sac. The sac had torn. Air leaked out. The grubs writhed weakly. Without the sac's pressure, they would suffocate soon. 4 more. 2 feathered diplomats from the Alori Concord. Wings broken, breathing shallow. A gas being in a cracked containment suit, leaking slowly. A 4-legged mechanic from the Durin worlds, unconscious with a head wound. And 1 small childlike being from an unknown species, crying softly, holding a broken arm. Elara had no weapons, no medical kit. Only the torn gray jumpsuit she still wore and whatever she could find in the wreckage. She moved fast. First she ran to the crystal being. She knelt. I'm going to help. Hold still. The being's shards vibrated. A weak voice came from inside. Do not waste time on me. Save the others. I'm saving all of you, Elara said. She looked at her own suit. It still had thermal patches. Small sticky squares meant to fix holes. She peeled 3 off her sleeve. She pressed them over the cracks in the crystal arm. The patches glowed faintly as they sealed. The leaking stopped. The being made a soft chime sound, like thanks. Next, the reptilian. Elara went to the beam. It was heavy. Too heavy for one person. She found a broken pipe nearby, long and metal. She slid it under the beam like a lever. She pushed with her legs. Nothing moved. The warrior snarled, "Leave me, I die with honor." Elara pushed harder. Sweat ran into her eyes. Honor is nice, living is better. The beam shifted 1 inch, then 2. The warrior pulled his leg free. He roared in pain but stood. He looked at Elara. "You are small, weak, yet you fight." "Yeah," she said, "we do that." She tore more cloth from her jumpsuit. She wrapped his leg tight to stop bleeding. "Stay here. Don't move too much." Now the swarm larva. The sack was leaking fast. Elara found a piece of flexible hull plating. She pressed it over the tear. Not perfect, but it slowed the leak. She needed pressure. She saw a small oxygen tank rolling nearby. She dragged it over. She cracked the valve just a little. Pure oxygen hissed out. The pressure built inside the sack again. The grubs calmed. A single voice from the swarm spoke in her mind. "Gratitude. We live because of you." Elara nodded. No time to talk. The 2 Aelori diplomats were next. One had a broken wing. The other had a deep cut across the chest. Elara found a first aid station half destroyed. Inside were bandages and sealant foam. She sprayed the foam on the cut. It hardened fast. She used metal strips from the wall to splint the wing. The gas being suit was cracked at the shoulder. Gas leaked out in blue wisps. Elara found a roll of emergency tape. She wrapped it tight around the crack. The leak stopped. The being pulsed brighter. "You risk your air for me." "I have lungs," Elara said. "You don't." The Duran mechanic was still out. Elara checked his pulse. Weak, but there. She lifted his head. Found a small med patch in the first aid kit. She stuck it on his neck. His eyes opened slowly. Last, the childlike being. Small, furry, big eyes full of tears. Arm bent wrong. Elara knelt. "Hey, this will hurt a little, but I need to fix it." She straightened the arm carefully. The child cried out. Elara wrapped it with cloth and a metal brace from wreckage. Then she held the child close for a moment. "You're okay. We're getting out." The habitat shook hard. A loud crack ran through the walls. Air started hissing out somewhere. Time was almost gone. Elara stood. "Everyone who can walk, help someone who can't." The reptilian warrior nodded. He lifted the unconscious mechanic over his shoulder. The crystal being stood slowly. It supported one of the Aelori. The other Aelori helped the gas being. The swarm larva cluster rolled itself into a tight ball. Elara carried the child. They moved toward the emergency shuttle bay. The floor tilted more. Sparks flew. Pipes burst. Halfway there, a wall collapsed. Metal screamed. A huge piece of ceiling fell toward them. Elara shouted, "Down!" They dropped. The debris missed them by meters. Dust filled the air. They kept going. At the shuttle bay, only one pod remained. Small, meant for 6. Not 9 adults and a child and a swarm. Elara looked at it, then at the others. The reptilian growled. "You first. You saved us." "No," Elara said. "All of us." She opened the pod. "It's tight, but we fit." Crystal being, you're smallest in mass. In the back. Swarm, center. Child with me. Everyone else squeeze. They packed in. Bodies pressed close. The warrior held the mechanic. The Aelori folded wings tight. The gas being dimmed its glow to save space. Elara hit the launch button. The pod doors closed. Thrusters fired. The habitat exploded behind them, in silence. The pod drifted into open space. Inside, everyone breathed hard. She rocked it gently. The reptilian looked at her. "Why? You could have left some behind. Your species would still pass if most lived." Elara looked back at him. "We've been saving people who hate us since we invented the wheel. It's tradition." The crystal being chimed softly. "You are strange." "Maybe," Ilara said, "but we're here." The pod's comms crackled. Kael'vor's voice came through. "All lives preserved. Stage 4 complete." The delegates in the crystal chamber were not silent this time. Sounds rose. Clicks, hums, low tones, bright pulses, argument, wonder, disbelief. Ilara felt the pod pull toward the chamber. The light returned. She stepped out again. The others stayed in the pod, safe. She stood in the center, dirty, bleeding in new places, holding the small child, who now slept against her shoulder. She looked up at Kael'vor. The Arbiter's arms lowered slightly. A sign of deep respect. "The candidate saves others," he said, "even when no law forces her." Ilara shifted the child's weight. "It's not about law," she said. "It's about what we do when no one is watching." The chamber lights dimmed a little. "Stage 5 remains," Kael'vor said. "The crucible of choice." Ilara nodded once. She handed the sleeping child to one of the Alorai through the pod door. Then she turned back to face the trial. Ilara stood alone again, in the center of the crystal chamber. The child she had carried was gone now, safe with the others. Her jumpsuit hung in rags. Fresh cuts marked her arms and face from the collapsing habitat. Her breathing came slow and steady. She looked tired, but her eyes stayed clear and sharp. The delegates watched without a sound. The air felt thick, like the moment before a storm. Kael'vor moved forward. All 6 arms lowered halfway. His black plates caught the light in slow waves. When he spoke, the voice was lower than before, almost careful. "Stage 5, the crucible of choice. This is the final test. No pain of body, no pain of mind. Only a decision. Listen well." The silver light did not come this time. Instead, the chamber walls darkened. Stars outside faded. A single large hologram appeared in front of Ilara. It showed Earth, blue oceans, green lands, white clouds. Cities glowed at night, like rivers of light. Then the image changed. It zoomed in. Deep inside human DNA, a tiny twist of code glowed red. The marker, the thing the galaxy feared. Kael'vor continued. "This is the latent gene marker found in your species. In most humans it sleeps. In a few it wakes. When it wakes, it becomes a mimetic plague. Not a sickness of body, a sickness of thought. It spreads through words, images, ideas. It unravels higher minds. It turns reason into chaos. Entire civilizations could fall in months. We have seen it before in other species long ago. We ended them to save the rest." The hologram shifted again. It showed simulations. Alien worlds burning with madness. Cities empty. Ships crashing. Beings tearing at their own minds. Then it showed Earth. The same red marker spreading. Ships leaving. Humans carrying the plague to the stars. "The Concord has the power," Kael'vor said. "One command. Every human world ends. Sterilized. Clean. No pain. No war. The galaxy lives safe." He paused. "Or you refuse. You say no. Then we go to war. Your people fight. We fight. Many die on both sides. Maybe you win, maybe we win. But the marker spreads. The risk stays. The galaxy pays the price for your choice." The hologram froze on Earth. Small, alone, surrounded by endless black. Ilara looked at the image for a long time. No one spoke. The delegates held their breath. Every past candidate had begged here, offered deals, promised changes, cried for mercy. Some had broken completely. Ilara lifted her head. She looked straight at Kael'vor. "You think we are a virus," she said. Her voice was quiet but firm, "because we do not die quietly, because we keep moving, even when everything says stop." She took one step closer to the hologram. "But viruses do not build things. They do not make songs. They do not sit up all night, wondering if what they did was right or wrong. They do not forgive. They do not love so hard it breaks them. They do not look at the stars and say, "One day I will go there," and then actually go. She pointed at the glowing red marker. Yes, that thing is in us. Maybe it wakes one day, maybe it destroys, but we have carried worse inside us for a long time. Hate, fear, greed, rage. We still made art. We still helped strangers. We still held children when they cried. We failed a lot. We hurt each other a lot, but we never stopped trying to be better. The delegates began to murmur, soft sounds, some angry, some curious. Elara kept going. You want to end us because we might become dangerous, but look at what we already are. We are dangerous now, to ourselves most of all. We fight wars, we poison our own air, we build bombs that can end worlds, and still we make hospitals, still we share food when someone has none, still we tell stories to make each other laugh in the dark. At the crystal beings, the reptilians, the swarms, the gas clouds, all different, all watching her. You call it a risk, I call it life. Messy, ugly sometimes, beautiful sometimes, always hard, but worth it. If you cannot handle that risk, then maybe the galaxy is too small for us, or maybe we are too big for it. She turned back to Kale Vor. I choose humanity, not because we are safe, not because we are perfect, because we are worth the danger, because every time we fall, we get up different, a little wiser, a little kinder, a little braver. And if that marker ever wakes, we will face it too. We will fight it, we will cure it, or we will die trying. That is what we do. She spread her hands. So do it. End us if you must. But know this, we will not go easy. We will not beg. We will not hide. We will meet it the way we meet everything. Head up, eyes open, together. Silence filled the chamber. Deep silence. No whispers, no clicks, no hums. Kale Vor stood still for a long moment. Then slowly, one by one, his arms lowered all the way. The gesture meant respect in the oldest Concord laws. Respect given only to equals. The choice is made, he said. The candidate refuses extinction. The candidate claims the risk. The hologram of Earth brightened. The red marker faded. The image pulled back until the planet became a small blue dot in a sea of stars. The crucible is finished, Kale Vor said. Humanity passes, not because it is flawless, but because it endures its flaws without surrender. A sound rose from the delegates. Not loud at first, then louder, a wave of sound. Some cheered in their own ways. Some pulsed light, some tapped claws, some sang low notes. Not all agreed. Some still looked angry. But the trial was over. The law was clear. Elara stood there. She did not smile. She just breathed out slowly, like someone who had carried a heavy weight for too long. The chamber lights returned to normal. The stars outside shone bright again. Kale Vor spoke one more time. You are now full members. Your worlds open, your ships free, your voice equal. Welcome, human. Elara nodded once. Thank you, she said, simple. No more words needed. The silver light came again, soft this time, not pulling, guiding. She stepped forward. The chamber faded. She found herself on a small shuttle, heading toward a waiting Earthship. Through the window, she saw the crystal station grow small behind her. Then she saw Earth in the distance. Home. She sat down, closed her eyes. For the first time in days, she let her shoulders drop. A crew member came in, young, human, eyes wide. Ma'am, they're saying it on every channel. You did it. We're in, full members. Elara opened her eyes. She looked at the young man. Yeah, she said. We are. She stood up, walked to the window, put her hand on the glass. Outside, the stars waited. Endless, cold, beautiful. She spoke quietly. mostly to herself. They called it our end. I just called it tradition. The shuttle flew on, toward home. Ilara stepped off the shuttle, onto the landing pad outside New Mumbai spaceport. The air smelled of rain, hot metal, and street food. Earth air, real air, not recycled, not filtered through alien tech. She stood still for a moment, let it fill her lungs. Her legs felt weak after everything. Her body hurt in places she had forgotten about. But she was home. People waited behind the barriers. Not a huge crowd, not like the heroes in old movies. Just families, friends, reporters, a few kids holding signs that said, "Welcome back, Ilara," in messy paint. One sign had a drawing of a stick figure fighting a giant monster. The monster had too many arms, like Kale Vor. She walked forward slowly. Security let her through. A young woman ran up first, her sister, Priya. She threw her arms around Ilara so hard they both almost fell. "You're alive," Priya whispered. "You idiot, you're alive." Ilara hugged back. "Told you I'd come back." Tears on her face. They showed everything on the feeds. The whole planet watched. People stopped working, stopped eating, just stared at screens. Ilara looked past her, saw her father standing there. Older now, gray hair, walking stick, but eyes bright. He did not run. He waited. When she reached him, he put both hands on her shoulders, looked at her like he was seeing her for the first time. "My girl," he said, voice rough. "You did good." She nodded, could not speak for a second. News drones hovered, cameras clicked, questions came fast. "Ilara, how does it feel to save humanity? Did you think you would die? What did the aliens say at the end?" She raised one hand, quiet. They actually went quiet. "I'm tired," she said. "I want coffee and sleep. Maybe in that order. The rest can wait." A laugh moved through the crowd. Small, real. She walked with her family to a waiting car. No fancy ride. Just an old family ground car. Her father drove. Priya sat beside her in the back, held her hand the whole way. The city looked the same. Tall towers, crowded streets, monsoon clouds low and heavy, people on scooters, vendors selling chai and samosas, life going on, like nothing had changed. But something had. Billboards showed her face, not smiling, just standing there in the gray jumpsuit, blood on her lip, eyes steady. Under the picture the words, "Full membership granted, humanity joins the Concorde." Traffic stopped to let them pass. Drivers honked, not angry, happy. Kids waved from windows. At home the apartment was small, same as always. Smelled like spices and old books. Her room still had the posters from when she was a teenager. Stars, planets. One said, "Reach higher." She sat on the couch. Someone pushed a mug of coffee into her hands. Hot, strong, real. She drank slow. "They're calling you a hero." Ilara shook her head. "I'm not. I just didn't quit." Her father sat across from them. That's enough sometimes. News played on the wall screen. Quiet volume. Alien commentators spoke in their languages. Translators added English. Some sounded amazed. Some sounded worried. One said, "Humanity has joined us, not as equals in peace, but as equals in endurance." Ilara watched for a minute, then turned it off. She stood up, walked to the balcony, looked out at the city lights. Rain started, soft at first, then harder. Priya joined her. "What now?" Ilara breathed deep. "Now we live. Same as always. Work, fight, love, mess up, fix it, keep going." Priya laughed a little. "Sounds boring after fighting death worlds and giant aliens." Ilara smiled. Small, tired, real. "Not boring," she said. "Normal. We're good at normal." Days passed. Weeks. Ilara did not give big speeches. She gave one short interview. Sat in a small studio. No makeup, no fancy clothes, just jeans and a plain shirt. The host asked, "What message do you have for the galaxy?" Alara thought for a second. "We're here," she said. "We're staying. We'll make mistakes. Big ones probably, but we'll try to fix them. We'll help when we can. We'll learn. We'll listen. And if someone tries to end us again, well, we've heard that song before." She paused. "They called it our end. I called it tradition." The host blinked. "Tradition?" Alara nodded. "Humans have been facing trials since we walked out of caves. Cold, hunger, predators, wars, plagues. We lost most of our people so many times, but we never stopped. We buried our dead. We told stories about them. We built again. That's not bravery. That's just what we do. Wednesday stuff." The host smiled. "Wednesday stuff. Yeah," Alara said. "Another day, another problem. Another chance." The interview ended there. After that, she went quiet. Took a job teaching exobiology at a local university. Simple classes. Students asked questions. She answered them. Sometimes she told stories from the trial. Not the scary parts, the small parts. How she sang to herself in the dark. How she fixed things with tape and hope. Students listened. Wide eyes. They drew pictures of her in class notebooks. Stick figures with torn jumpsuits, facing monsters. One evening, she walked home alone. Rain again. Streets shiny. She stopped at a street vendor, bought chai in a clay cup, drank it standing there. An old man sat nearby. Alien. One of the first Zethar diplomats posted on Earth. Tall, insect-like, clicked softly when he spoke. "You are the one," he said. Alara nodded. "Guilty." He tilted his head. "Many fear your kind. They say you bring chaos." Alara sipped her chai. "Maybe we do. But you also bring persistence." She looked at him. "That's the word." He made a sound like soft laughter. "My children watch your story. They ask questions. Why did the human not give up? Why did she save strangers? I tell them, because it is her tradition." Alara smiled. "Good answer." The old alien stood. "Welcome to the stars, human. May your tradition continue." He walked away into the rain. Alara finished her chai, left the cup on the counter, started walking home. Above her the sky cleared for a moment. Stars came out, bright, many. Somewhere up there alien children heard stories, not of perfect heroes, not of gentle guardians, but of a stubborn species, small, messy, dangerous, kind, broken, whole. Still here. They heard about the woman who looked at the end of her world and said, "Next." They heard about the ape-descended things who stared into the abyss and told it to wait its turn. And somewhere in those stories, a spark started. Not fear, not hate. Curiosity, maybe even hope. Alara reached her building, climbed the stairs, opened the door. Her family waited, food on the table, laughter in the air. She sat down, ate, talked, laughed. Normal night. Outside, Earth turned, ships flew. New ones with human markings joined the old alien routes. The galaxy watched. Humanity had arrived.